CBS New political reporter Marcia Kramer joining me now to talk about what happens next. The vote has happened to expel him. So what can we see happening from here?
Well, I just got off the phone with the governor's people, and they tell me that she has 10 days to call a special election. And once the special election is called, it must be held within 60 to 70 days. Now, we need to point out that there will be no primary, that instead the Democratic Party leaders and the Republican Party leaders will each pick one candidate who will then run in this special election. And the other thing you need to know is that the governor has no powers to appoint somebody to Congress. So that seat will remain vacant for the next, 2 or 3 months until there's an effort to replace Mr. Santos.
Many discussions behind the scenes as to who those people will be that will run for that seat. One on the Democratic side, one on the Republican side. What are you seeing at this point?
Well, I'm being told that Hakeem Jeffries, the minority leader in the House right now, has decided that he thinks that Tom Suozzi has the best chance of running because in the special election because he has name recognition and did represent the 3rd Congressional District prior. Now, in the Republican side, it's a little bit more complicated, but I'm told that the Nassau County Republican Chairman Joe Cairo actually gave a wave-bye to the Republicans from Long Island to try to get rid of Santos because he thinks that the district being redrawn gives the Republicans a good chance of holding the seat. So you're going to see them pick a Republican. Now, one of the names that's emerged is Jack Martins. He's a former state senator, well-known, well-liked. He has been reticent, but it could be that they could impose on him to run in a special election, and then a general election, there would be a lot of other people.
Now, former Congressman George Santos called you last night. You spoke with him at length. What did he have to say?
Well, he did say that he expected to be expelled. He said he'd run the numbers and he knew that he was going to be expelled. But he seemed to be at peace with it. And he told me, and it was sort of a very forthright conversation. He said, I know I got hooked up with some what he called bad people. And he said that he needs to rehabilitate himself. He didn't know exactly what that was going to mean. He didn't know how he was going to do it, but he was going to try to do it. The other thing he said to me was that he seemed like he liked the idea that he was going to be one of 6 that had been expelled, that he would have a place in history, which, is sort of a weird thing for you to hang
Called it a badge of honor.
A badge of honor, but he seemed okay with that, and that he would have, even though it was a weird thing, he was going to have a place in history.
What do you think was a turning point here? The vote looked twice, they couldn't get him expelled, but this time he has been ousted. What did you see? I mean, you had Congresswoman Malliotakis come out and say she was going to change her vote. Was there anything in specific that you think made the difference here?
Look, there's this really, really tight margin in the House now between Republicans and Democrats. In New York, there's clearly going to be a redistricting that's going to be ordered by the State Court of Appeals. The Republicans are worried about holding 6 Republican seats, and they needed to get rid of him in order to not have that hanging over them when they're running for re-election.
All right, Marcia Kramer, thank you very much. And, of course, that ethics probe and that scathing report that came out just recently. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. Joining me now is former Congressman Steve Israel, now a professor of practice at Cornell University. Thanks so much for joining me, Congressman.
Thank you, Mary. Thanks so much.
Can we talk about what Marcia was mentioning, Long Island redistricting? How will this affect the special election and the district going forward?
Well, first, let me congratulate Marcia for some very good reporting. I mean, there is a mad scramble behind the scenes trying to figure out who's going to run. The Republicans conducted a poll just last night. They're trying to figure out which candidates stack up best against the Democrats. And now add to that the uncertainty about the district lines. As Marcia said, the courts are very likely to facilitate a new design for the district that I used to represent. The state legislature and the governor are likely to be involved in that process. The assumption is that the final lines of the district probably won't be drawn in time for the special election, which will be in 2 or 3 months, but will be operative for the general election. So not only do we not have a congressman in New York 3, and not only do we not yet have candidates in New York 3, we don't even know what New York 3 will look like over the long term.
Is there any chance Steve Israel will be on the ballot for that special election?
Mary, I'm going into the witness protection program so nobody could find me. I'm very happy where I am right now.
And Marcia did talk a little bit about who might be on the ballot. Tom Suozzi was a name that was mentioned. What are your thoughts about him going for that position?
He's presumed to be the choice of the two leaders, the two county leaders, Congressman Greg Meeks, who's the leader in Queens, Jay Jacobs, who's the Democratic leader in Nassau. He's presumed to be the choice, and Marcia is correct in reporting that Hakeem Jeffries believes that his name recognition and the fact that he's got about $1 million in the bank from the last campaign gives him a very solid advantage.
And before we have to move quickly, in regard to the Republican side, what are your thoughts?
It's a mad scramble. Jack Martins is in the mix. There's a Nassau County legislator who's in the mix. It is a mad scramble. They polled just last night with all of these names against Suozzi, and I think those results will very much help determine who's chosen.
Former Congressman Steve Israel, thank you so much for taking some time to talk with us. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure.